So today we're just going to do some gentle exercises, and we're going to start lying on the floor. So if you've got a mat, either an exercise mat or a camping mat, that'll make it a little bit more comfortable. And if you haven't, then a carpet is fine. If you can work with your socks off, that's brilliant. But you can keep your socks on if you want to, but I would advise you to take your shoes off. And so we're just going to start down on the floor. So if you lie back and just bring your knees up over your chest and wrap your hands around your knees. If that's uncomfortable, you can take the hands underneath the back of the thighs. And just have a little rock from side to side. And this is gently stretching the back out. Chin just a little bit tucked in so the back of the neck can stretch too. And then come to the centre and release those knees and lower the feet down one at a time, nice and slowly. And then just keeping the knees bent and the feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart. Allow the body to settle into the floor. And then bring your hands onto the bottom of the rib cage, just where the belly is, just above your tummy button. And place the hands there and see if you can feel the movement of the breath under the hands. And I'm going to give you instructions where I explain the movement and the breath happening at the same time. But if that gets too confusing, just follow the movements. Don't worry too much about the breath. Just keep breathing. It's always good to keep breathing. So now relaxing the hands down and just taking a moment to allow the body to sink into the floor. And then we're going to start with a very small movement of a pelvic tilt. Again, to get your back moving, and I'll give you the instructions with the breath. So this time, place your hands onto your hips or your pelvis. And as you breathe in, just allow your back to arch slightly off the floor. As you breathe out, pull your tummy button back towards the floor and just tip the tail up. So you're rocking the pelvis, breathing in, allowing the back to arch, breathing out, tummy button to the floor, tail tips up. Just rocking with the breath. So we get that movement in the spine, but we're also waking up those core muscles and the abdominal muscles and warning them that they might have some work to do in a minute. And you can bring an arm movement into that as well, so that you start to work the shoulders. And the way that we would do that is relax the hands down, and as you breathe in, arching the back, take the arms up and overhead. And as you breathe out, flattening the back down, bring the arms back beside you. So you arch and stretch on the in-breath. And as you breathe out, flatten the back down, tip the tail up, hands come back. Arching, stretching on the in-breath. And bringing the arms back as you breathe out. Tail tips up. One more. And then we're going to add a little complication. So as you breathe in and take the arms overhead, this time bring one knee to the chest. As you breathe out, take the heel of that leg to the ceiling, hands come back. Breathing in, arms overhead, knee to chest. Breathing out, foot flat on the floor, hands come back. And then we'll do the other leg. Breathe in, arms overhead, other knee to the chest. Breathing out, heel to the ceiling, hands come back. Begin to feel a stretch in the back of that leg. Breathe in, arms overhead, knee to chest. Breathe out, lower the foot to the floor. One more on each side. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Other leg. And then just hug those knees once more. Remember, either over the knees, or if you've got knee problems and that hurts, you can go under the knees. Have that little rock. And then come back to the centre. Engage those core muscles, those tummy muscles. Keep the back placed down, flat on the floor. Lower those feet one at a time. And then we're going to work a little bit higher up using our core muscles and our abdominal muscles. And if you think about engaging those core muscles, if you imagine you've got a really tight pair of jeans and you've got to do a zip up on the tight jeans. So imagine that your zip begins at the pubic bone and you're zipping up to the tummy button, and think of pulling everything together to do that zip up. And that's one way of thinking about engaging the core muscles. So what we're going to do, and again I'll give you instructions with the breathing, is we're going to breathe in and do that imaginary zip up to the tummy button. And then we're going to breathe out and pull the tummy button to the floor and scoop the tail up. And then we're going to breathe in and lift the head up, the hips up. And then we're going to breathe out and lengthen the spine all the way down. Think of pushing that tailbone towards the heels. And you might find, like I just did, that you get a little bit of cramping in the back of the leg. Just stretch that leg out, give it a rub. So we breathe in and zip up. We breathe out, tummy button to the floor, tip the tail up. Breathe in, lift the hips up. Breathe out and lengthen. And just beware as you lift up that you don't let the chin point over there. Keep the head in line. We'll do one more of those. So zip up on the in-breath. Tummy button to the floor, tip the tail on the out-breath. Breathe in, lift the hips up, but make sure you don't stick the chin up. Breathe out and lengthen. All the way down, nice and slowly. And again, a little hug of those knees. And a rock. And then come back to the centre. Engage the core muscles, do that zip up before you lower the feet to the floor. And then we're going to do a little bit of a sideways twist. So with those knees and feet now together, but still with the knees bent and the feet flat on the floor, just start by allowing those knees to rock from side to side. Nice and gently. And if you've got any back problems, that might be as much as you want to do. But if you want to take that a stage further, then come to the centre. Take the arms out at shoulder level. I've got a wall here, so I can't do that with this arm. And then we're just going to take the knees, both knees across to one side. Again, we're going to do it with the breath, so have a breath in to begin with. And as you breathe out, take both knees over to one side. Have a breath in when you're there. And as you breathe out, pull the tummy button back to the floor and help to bring the legs up. Breath in. And as you breathe out, both knees over to the other side. Breath in. Breathing out, tummy button to the floor. Bring those knees up. So we're doing the work with these abdominal muscles and the core muscles rather than the legs. Again, breath in. As you breathe out, both knees over to one side. You can let your head go to the opposite side just to release in the neck. Breathe in once you're there. Breathing out, tummy button to the floor. Bring the knees up, head back to the centre. One more, breath out, turning knees to the other side. Head to the opposite side, breath in. Breathing out, tummy button to the floor. Bringing the knees back to the centre. And then just have a little hug of the knees, rock it out. And come back to the centre. Again, engage the core as you lower the feet. And you can make that a stronger movement if you choose. So be guided by how your body feels. If you want to, have a breath in as you breathe out. Keep those knees tightly together as you take them over. And watch this opposite shoulder because it might want to come up off the floor, so try and relax that shoulder down to the floor. And if your back is good and you're quite happy that it's all right, you can even take that top leg and stretch it away. Keep it as low to the floor as possible. And you can push the heel away, the toes towards your face, feel a good stretch in the leg. And then bend it, place it on top of the lower knee. Breath in as you breathe out, tummy button to the floor. And bring those knees up. And you might want a little hug and a rock before you do the other side. Come to the centre, use the core muscles as you lower the feet. Breathe in as you breathe out, both knees over to the other side. Have a breath in and then extend that top leg. Again, I haven't got room because of the wall. Straightening the leg if you like. Pushing the heel away, toes to your face, gives a good stretch down that leg. And then bend that top leg, place it on top of the lower leg. Have a breath in. As you breathe out, tummy button to the floor, bring those knees up. And a hug of the knees, a little rock from side to side. And then come to the centre. Engage the core as you lower those feet to the floor, one at a time. And then roll over onto one side and come up to sitting. And you want a comfortable straight spine sitting position. So you could do sitting on a chair, or you could be kneeling like I am. You can be sitting cross-legged, however you're going to be comfortable. And use cushions and blankets, anything that you've got about you to make it comfy. I find it quite comfortable to have something between my heels and my bottom so that you can level the pelvis out and have a nice straight spine. Same thing if you're sitting cross-legged, just having something underneath you can help you to lengthen the spine with a nice straight pelvis. And we're just going to take some arm movements now. So we'll breathe in and take the arms up and stretch. Then we'll breathe out and bring the arms down. Once more, breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out, lower the arms. And then we're going to do a sideways movement. And for this, you need to support yourself with one hand as you work over to the side. If your shoulders are comfortable, you can take the arm up and over. If that's too strong, bend the hand and just have it on the waist. So we'll breathe in, take the arm up, support yourself with the other hand on the chair or the floor as you breathe out and go over to the side. Breathe in, lift up, breathe out and lower. And the other side, in breath, out breath, in breath, out breath. Things to watch for is that this hand doesn't come forwards. Try and imagine that you're in between the double glazing, so you're in between two panes of glass, so you can only move sideways. Keeping the shoulder and the arm in line. Remember, you can drop that in if it's too strong. And then just release those shoulders. Turn the head and make sure there's no tension in the neck. And then have a little shake. And we'll do a twisting movement in this position as well. So breathe in, straighten up to the top of the head. And as you breathe out, take one hand across to the opposite leg and pull the other shoulder round. Breathe in, come back to the centre. As you breathe out, hand across to the opposite leg, pull the shoulder round. Breathe in, back to the centre. And we'll do one more on each side. Lengthen the spine, breathe in. As you breathe out, take the hands across, pull the back shoulder round to give you the twist. Breathe in, back to the front. And breathe out. Keep stretching the top of the head towards the ceiling all the way through that movement. Back to the centre on the in-breath. Again, release those shoulders. And turn the head. And then release the legs. Have a little bounce up and down of the knees. Turn the ankles. And then we're going to stand up. Any way you like. And just come into a standing position. Feet hip width apart. And parallel, make sure that the toes don't turn out or in or anything, keeping them in line. And just soften the knees, have a little bounce up and down of the knees. Again, do a zip up to your tummy button like you were tightening those tight jeans. Zip up, and then from that pelvis, lengthen all the way up to the top of the head. Roll the shoulders. And drop them down and just let them hang like empty shirt sleeves on a coat hanger. Top of the head reaching up to the sky. And then have a shake. Have a shake of the legs. And then a very floppy twist. Nice and floppy. So any tension that those stretches have put in, just ease it out. Let the feet move freely. And come back to the centre. And then we're just going to do a little sequence of movements for the hands that gets the breath moving in different parts of the body. So we're going to start with the hands on the hips, which has the effect of opening up in the rib cage, but without any restriction. So just have a nice deep breath in and out. And then breathe in and take the arms out to the sides. And as you breathe out, bring the hands back onto the waist. And then breathe in and take the hands forward, stretching those hands right away in front of you. And hold that position for an out breath and another in breath. And here the breath comes in at the back of the body. Movement of the rib cage at the back of the body. Nice deep breaths in. We don't think of breathing at the back of the body, but there's 60% of the rib cage at the back of the body. And then bring the hands back onto the waist. Just have a recovery breath there. And then we'll take the hands right up and bring the palms together and stretch up as tall as you can and breathe as you hold. And here we're restricting more at the top of the rib cage, but we can breathe down at the bottom of the rib cage where the diaphragm is. So some nice deep breaths there. And then part the hands, and as you breathe out, let the hands come all the way down and shake it out. And so we're going to put a sequence of movements together with those arms where we draw the breath into different parts of the rib cage. So have a breath in and out with the hands on the chest. Then breathe in and open the arms. Breathe out and come back to the chest. Breathe in, take the hands forwards. Breathe out, come back to the chest. Breathe in, take the arms up. As you breathe out, pull your elbows down and back. Breathe in, stretch up again. And breathe out and come back to the center. We'll do that once more. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in, hands forwards. And out. Breathe in, stretch up. Bend the elbows, pull them back. Breathe out. Breathe in, stretch up again. And back. And then relax and breathe easy. Have a little shake. Okay, so now we're going to do a lunge just to work the legs. So come to the front of your mat, or make sure you've got room behind you, and then place the hands onto one knee and take a big step back. If you feel wobbly as you do that, when you step back, instead of bringing one foot behind the other, take it wider, hip width at least, or wider apart that way. So that gives you more stability. And then straighten the legs and place the hands onto the hips. And then we're going to breathe in and breathe out and bend the front knee. And make sure that stays over the ankle. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out, go down. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out, go down. Keep going, but make sure I'm just changing position so you can see that this front knee stays over the ankle. Sometimes it has a tendency to move from side to side, so try and keep it really still. And it's just going to be over the ankle. And the next time you breathe out, hands on the knee, step in, shake it out. And we'll do the other leg. So hands onto the other knee and then step back, straighten the legs, breathe in. As you breathe out, bend the front knee no further forward than the ankle, coming up on the in-breath, going down on the out-breath. And the next time you breathe out, hands onto the knee, step in, shake it out. And a little twist. And then you can use either just a standing position or you can use a lunge position, and we'll repeat that breathing sequence to finish. So either in a standing position with the feet parallel or into a lunge. Make sure you're nice and settled and your spine is straight, and then start that sequence from there. So breathe in as you open the arms, out back to the centre. Breathe in, take the hands forwards, out back to the centre. Breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out, pull the elbows down and back. Breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out, back to the centre. Step in, shake it out. Other leg. This is where I forget which leg I've done. So try and do the opposite leg. I'm not sure whether I have or not. Hands back to the starting position. Breathe in and open the arms. Breathe out, back to the centre. Breathe in, stretch forwards. Breathe out. Breathe in, stretch up. Pull the elbows down and back. Breathe out. Breathe in, stretch up. And breathe out. Hands onto the knee. Step in, shake it out. Nice floppy twist. And then we're going to finish as we started. Down onto the floor. With a little hug of the knees over the chest. Gentle rock. Back to the centre, releasing those knees, placing the feet down one at a time. Hands onto the rib cage, onto the belly. Chin slightly tucked in. And watching the breath. Let the breath settle, and then you can choose whether you relax here for a moment, and when you're ready to finish, just roll onto one side and come up to sitting nice and slowly, and pause for a moment before you stand up. Hope you enjoyed it.